Love's got the questions, digging so sharp, peeling back layers, hitting the heart.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing this. I've been wanting to have you on ever since I wore my Seahawks shirt in honor of this, because you guys, like you and Dave Smith, Kurt Metzger, and Luis Gomez got canceled from this comedy club in Seattle. Like, this is such a crazy story. To me it was. Maybe it wasn't a big news story, but did you have a lot of people asking you about that?
Yeah. Are we recording?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, yeah. No, it was a huge story. The story went for like a week. It wouldn't die down. It was crazy. It was all about like censorship and comedians say what they want on stage and all that stuff. No, I probably got like 100 different press requests. I did a few of them, but I was like, yeah, at some point I'm like, all right, I'm done talking about this. But no, it was a big story because, the comedy club we all had the same manager, us four, and the comedy club booked us. And then like 2 weeks later, they took all our dates away. Tickets were on sale and everything because they said their progressive values don't align with our stand-up comedy. And they took all our dates away.
That's so crazy. I think the craziest thing to me was especially like Kurt Metzger. Isn't he on the Jimmy Dore show? And I thought Jimmy Dore was like a guy that, was endorsing Bernie Sanders and stuff. So I was like, huh?
Well, look, if it comes down to it, Seattle, we're 4 straight white males. Lewis is Spanish. So of course that's going to be a problem for a club in Seattle. But the comedy club in Tacoma, Washington, took all of us, honored all our dates.
That's cool. Tacoma's really gotten a lot better too since my dad actually went to Stadium High School. He said it got beat up every day, but I think they're cleaning up Tacoma. It's actually becoming really nice.
Yeah, there's a club there. Well, I forget what the club's called. Why am I forgetting? I just did it. But they said, we'll take them. When they found out, they called our agent, said, we'll take all their, we'll honor their weekends. So they all took us, and we did great there. I wound up selling up like every show there. It was great. I was just there in beginning of October.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Are you friends? So you're friends?
Don't lump us in with Seattle. Fuck Seattle. They were like so mad.
I know. I'm like kind of embarrassed to be from, I don't live there anymore. I live in Scottsdale. But it's almost like embarrassing to be from Seattle now. It's like all the homeless encampments. They didn't have that when I was a kid. It was just like a normal city. It's weird how much it's changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also said they were afraid of what the crowds that we draw, they might do to the local people in the town. Cause I guess it was in that Chap area, whatever, that Summer of Love where they shut down that. Yeah. So they said they were afraid of what, the people we draw, what they might do to the local people after the show. Like after a comedy show, you want to get violent and beat people up.
Right. I think, you kind of touch on this a little bit on your album. And then I think you did it even more when I saw you this summer when you did House of Comedy. And you lay it out the scenario, like after a comedy show, people are going to be like, all right, let's go beat up some gay people. Like it just makes no sense.
So stupid. And, the comedy club was fairly new. So it's like it could have drew people there that were like, oh, there's a comedy club here. I'll come back. That's what a lot of clubs do. They'll book different acts there. They go, oh, there's a comedy show. We should go back. Even though we went and saw our favorite comic, let's go back there. We got nothing to do. We like that time. So that's how these comedy clubs start building their audience.
But I think the weirdest part, if they had actually done their homework, your good friend, Jim Norton, is married to a transgender person, and you didn't disown him as a friend or whatever. And I mean, you make a joke about this in your stand-up, and it's like, do they not know this? Like, this is what's so weird. That's what I hate about the woke thing, is that I feel like there's a lot of assumptions, and they think that if you like this person or you do this, that you hate this person. And it's like, I don't think there's a lot of hate going on. I that's just my opinion, but
I heard it was a lot of they in the email they sent, they said they check with the local community and ask community leaders about us. Like, is that where you're booking comedians at a comedy club? You have to ask local. But then I heard it was a lot of the local Seattle comics that were like putting the pressure on the club. Like, why are you booking these fucking thugs? Lewis and Dave Smith are part of Legion of Skanks. They do that, festival every year. Kurt's, a wild card. He's fucking crazy. I love Kurt,
Yeah.
I've been associated with Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony. I played special ed on Crank Anchors. So who knows? But they wanted no part of it. But it wound up working in our favor. Even when I first found out, it was like 6 months before the gig. I'm like, whatever. I just laughed it off. I'm like, it figures. So what? I don't go to Seattle. Who cares? And then it became such a big news story. And then the other club goes to Tacoma was like, we'll take you. So it was
Yeah.
perfect.
So yeah, do you think it like helped you? I mean, if you got 100 requests for that's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely did. I didn't want to do any press about it. I thought it was just going to die down, but it just caught wind, the story, and it became this national issue about, what comics say on stage and why you cancel them before they're even there.
Do you think that was kind of the peak? Like things are starting to die down with all that stuff now? Because to me, it reminds me of like the 80s and 90s where it was like the far right was kind of the woke thing and everything was religious, like Satanic Panic and like, they tried to censor bad words. And now it's like from the other side. And it's just bizarre to me.
It is. It's completely changed because it was always the right. It
Yeah.
was the religious people, the Republicans. They were stiff. They didn't like any dirty words. They were all churchgoers. Don't say this. It's a church town. I remember that.
Yeah.
The 90, whatever, these little and then all of a sudden it's completely changed.
Yeah. What do you think's worse? Like the far left, like woke, this kind of thing, or the far right religious? Because I feel like they both want to like impose their values on you and they want to cancel you. And I hate that shit.
Far left is way worse. Way worse.
Especially now, right? Because that's more
right
socially acceptable.
The far right would just be like, hey, I remember they were trying to there was like a petition to get Howard Stern off the air by like these religious people back in the day when he was on regular radio. It never happened or whatever. But the far left is like, especially with social media, you say one word or post one joke with some word in there that they don't like, they can ruin your career. The far right still doesn't do that. It's just, hey, if you're in a town and they don't like the language or something, you just can't play the place. So they're not going to try to ruin your career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the far left will do. They'll just attack and look, can you believe this person just spread it? And there'll be articles everywhere about it. And, look, the far left controls like 90% of the media anyway. So, you have no choice. You're getting bombarded.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, I know people hate on Elon Musk, but I really do. And Rogan always talks about this, how Elon kind of saved free speech by buying Twitter because he allowed it to kind of loosen up a little bit. And it really changed the landscape. Now I feel like Facebook and Instagram have kind of loosened up because they used to just be very tight about certain things, subjects you couldn't talk about, words you couldn't say. It seems like they've lightened up on that a lot.
And the one we got to get is YouTube. YouTube is like G-rated almost. It's crazy how you can't do anything on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's crazy because I've had some comedians on my show that, I mean, these are people who are like, wouldn't say far left, but there are left-leaning comedians and their specials are getting canceled or demonetized. And so I think they're starting to go, whoa, what's going on here? Because I'm not like a far right nut, like I'm a left-leaning comedian and I'm getting my special demonetized, and that's how they make money.
Well, look, the left, comedians and the left is starting to, go, hey, well, you got to stop. This is too much. Well, you guys started it. You guys, with the Me Too movement and everything else, they started with every little word. You can't say this, the he, she, the pronouns, all this stuff. No, a man can't get pregnant. What are you talking about? How could you say it? It's not possible. Well, you guys started all that bullshit. And then when it comes way too far and it starts hitting you, they're like, hey, enough. No, we got to stop. Ben Stiller's crying. Oh, movies are too woke. They can't be edgy anymore. Yeah, well, you were part of the problem when you're stumping for Kamala Harris, who says there's videos of her going, no, we have to stop. We need to censor things. You know what I mean? We need to censor a lot of stuff. It's getting out of control. So you're part of the problem, Ben. And don't, that you're stumping for people like that.
Right. No, exactly. It's weird because, yeah, like I always felt like the left was more about, Bill Maher talks about this. Like he says, like free speech was our thing, that was like a left, and now that's like a right thing. It's really strange, but it seems like, I hope that it's now kind of dying down a little bit. It seems like people have loosened up a little. I mean, you say retarded in your special. I feel like 5 years ago, I would, I would be scared to even say that on my podcast. Like, oh God, you can't say that word.
I've been saying it forever, so I never stop saying it. I that's the one thing with me. I don't let the media dictate what words I can and cannot say anymore. Because they put it out there, and then you go, okay, and everyone's like, oh, I guess you can't say that because Washington Post said you're not allowed to say this word anymore. So everyone just abides by it. I'll do my own. I'll decide when I want to stop saying a word. If I don't want to stop saying it, I just don't say it.
Right. Well, and I think it comes down to it.
Saying it. It's like you're not going to tell me. Okay, I guess the Guardians and the Indians in baseball. Up till opening day 2 years ago, you're allowed to say the Indians, but once they switch it to the Guardians, now you're racist if you say it the next day. It's
Well,
so
yeah, that one's a good example. I think you talked about that on one of your podcasts, but because now the commanders, the people that the tribe or whatever that designed that logo, they're like protesting. They want it to be called the Redskins, or they want the logo to be back. So they're gonna supposedly use the logo in some of the like maybe throwback uniforms or something.
Yeah, which is good because what happened with that is it's funny how with the Guardians and the Indians, Vanapsa goes, yeah, he used to be an Indian. I mean, a Guardian, like they have to go
Yeah.
correct themselves that quick. It's like 3 days before the season started, you were saying Indian. The word Indians is not offensive at all.
Right. What was
At
the
all.
thing that
So
you said that the Indians, it used to be called was like an Irish name or something before?
yeah, the Molly Maguires or
Molly
something.
McGuire.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I find ironic because people say, like, well, what would you think if your culture was a mascot? I'm like, I'm Irish and I love the Fighting Irish. I think it's the coolest mascot ever. Like, I love Notre Dame's. I'm not offended by that at all. Like, please do it up. It's great. I think it's amazing.
Well, you know what happened with the Redskins? Why they changed it is Nike runs all the NFL apparel. You can only buy the official stuff through the Nike store. They have a deal with the NFL. So they decided, 3 years ago or whatever, hey, we're not going to sell any more Washington Redskins stuff anymore. No more apparel because they won't change the name. And then FedEx, it was called FedEx Field, said we're going to take the naming rights off the field. And they were getting they get like 25 million a year from FedEx just to call it FedEx Field. And that's what put pressure on the owner at the time, Dan Snyder, which he was also on investigation with some shady shit with the front office, with the cheerleaders. So at that point, he's like, all right, what am I going to do? They're not going to, if I was him, I said, all right, listen, man, we're going to make up our own Redskins stuff on the side, buy our stuff and fuck Nike. And you'll get another name, corporation to name the stadium. But Nike and FedEx were the ones who made that name go away.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. And it's corporations are deciding what's offensive or not. It's crazy.
Well, that's some scary stuff when they have so much control over people. And then like I had this girl on, she made a documentary and she said she got debanked. Like she went to her bank and they're like, yeah, we decided we're not going to do business with you anymore. You're too much of a risk. And she's like a documentary filmmaker. It's like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the shit that scares me with the corporations and having too much control and all that stuff. But yeah, the Redskins, I never really thought that was that offensive. I feel like the logo is cool. And I love the Cleveland Indians logo. I thought that was one of the coolest logos when I was a kid. I loved Major League, that movie. And so it's weird that they name it the lamest shit. Guardians and Commanders. You couldn't come up with something cool? Like,
no, I know it's embarrassing, but that the Indians, that they're so mad that they did it, the organization, because it was at that time where, it was like, oh, I better change it. I don't want to offend anybody. We got 7 emails. People are, offended, and they just kowtowed to those 7 people. And you really don't
about us because we're offended that they change it, but our opinions don't matter, I guess.
No, I know, but just like I mentioned that, they changed it from the disabled list in baseball to the injured list.
They did? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It used to be the 15-day disabled list. Remember? Yeah. If a guy got hurt. Well, now it's the injured list because the disabled people, caused a stir. I don't know how many of them, and told Major League Baseball, hey, you're saying disabled. That means the person can't play. In baseball, you're not allowed to play. Disabled list. We can play sports and we're disabled and we're offended. So they switch it to the injured list. I swear to God.
I didn't know that. God.
Can't make that up.
There's so many, I feel like you just piss everybody off every time you talk. And that's what I love when the people that pretend to be like all about this shit, they fuck it up themselves and then they have to like apologize. And you know what I mean? Like they're not even trying to piss people off, but somehow they say the wrong thing. And then now they've offended people. And yeah,
it's amazing. So that's why they changed it. Because disabled people said we could still play sports, and we're offended because when a baseball player goes on the disabled list, that means he can't play.
That's interesting.
Okay, we're going to call it the injured list now.
That's crazy because I feel like all the disabled people that I've met usually have the best sense of humor, and they always make fun of themselves. And like, there's a lot of disabled comedians that are hilarious.
Right, and like I had a joke when it first happened. I said, like, what are they gonna What is a cop going to call him when he sees a disabled car on the side of the road? There's an injured car on I-90. The dispatcher like an
Yeah.
injured car. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like what was it? It was some celebrity. I feel like it was some tweet that was like "Happy Mother's Day," and then like this is like a really woke person on Twitter, and then they had to like, "I'm sorry, offended transgender people," and they had to like say like "Happy birthing persons." I mean, that one's just like that's going way too far to me with the
Look,
birthing persons.
that's why they lost the election. I live in the suburbs in Jersey, and people are just tired of it, worried about the he, she, and the pronouns and the transgender shit. Like, people don't care if you transition. Just those people, and most of the people that transition, like, just leave us alone and stop making this an issue because you're making it tougher on us. They just want to be
Right.
left alone, just like the gay people. When it was like, people oppose gay marriage, and like, we don't care what you do in your bed, go get married, whatever, and that's fine. And that's a transgender. Nobody cares. But when you keep telling us that the schools are going to go, hey, listen, if your kid wants to transition or start transition and taking counseling, we're going to counsel them at the school. But we're not allowed. We're not going to tell the parents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The girl's name, yeah, shit like that. And when parents hear that stuff, and then someone comes out running and goes, "Hey, we're getting rid of all that bullshit," they go, "Okay, I'm in. I'm in."
Yeah, no, that's great because I used to work in the schools, and I was a counselor, and thankfully I got out like in 2019, right before all this. Now in Seattle, my hometown, they have some law that says, yeah, like if the kid tells the teacher that they're transgender, they can go and give them hormone therapy and don't have to tell the parents.
Yeah.
That's insanity to me. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were doing it. They were trying to do it in my town in New Jersey, and they shot it down. But it was really close to like they're not going to let the parents know. The kids can get counseled by someone. If the kid, your boy wants to be called a girl's name, the teacher will call him a girl's name and won't let the parents know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder.
Shit, you go that far, you're going to get some major pushback over it.
Yeah, because I wonder if some of it is legitimately like, because if you, some of the transgender people say like, oh, I always knew when I was like 5 years old I was a girl, but it's like there's a lot of people that probably made a mistake, and so how do you sort that all out? It's like you really, and especially now, it's like kids see TikTok and stuff, and they see kids getting attention for this, and then they go, well, maybe I'm that, maybe I'm going to do that too, and I mean, there's going to be some lawsuits, for sure.
And once the females start taking those hormones and testosterone and stuff, they can't get that back. They're done. You can't just switch back if you think you made a mistake.
No, I know that the hormones they're giving these people are like for the men, it's the same hormone thing that the puberty blockers or whatever. That is what they give to sex offenders. It's the exact same hormones, isn't it?
I think so.
It's similar. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's scary shit. It's like Nazi shit. Like if you read what that's what they would do would they do these experiments and stuff on children? It's like I think it's going to be banned. I hope eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten out of control. But look, it helps us comics because most comedians, even doing all of this stuff, people that come to a comedy club go, man, I just want to be, I just want to laugh. I can't stand all this shit that's going on. Please, I want to be in a comedy club, a dark comedy club with a couple of drinks and unwind and laugh at an appropriate shit. So it's always helped us.
That's totally true. Yeah, especially. Yeah, because you can't even say it, so then you let the comedian say it for you, and then you're like, "Oh, this is hilarious." And then people, I think there's a lot of people that share stuff, like share clips and things that won't like it or comment because they don't want their name on it, but they'll share it with their friends. And I mean, because I get stuff all the time that's definitely not woke, but none of it is like I don't have any of this like I don't see hate or whatever. Like it's not mean spirited. It's more making fun of the people making these dumb rules than the quote unquote victims or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, this new generation understands their jokes and is okay with it. And they're like, my kid's 14 and all of his friends and stuff like that. I see this younger generation and like, this is he, she, they make jokes about it. No, I'm a bird. I identify as a bird today. Like they make jokes about it, which is good.
Oh, okay. So the younger generation is kind of mocking this shit then.
Yeah. And look at the younger generation. They voted more Republican this time than ever. And it's usually the young generation is always like, they're uptight and they don't know anything. So they'll always vote, Democrat on this shit. They realize this is ridiculous because they're dealing with it now.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, like Democrat used to just be there used to be more moderate Democrat, like Bill Clinton and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
it was
that was,
perfect. He was like right in the middle, a
yeah,
little to the left, and it was perfect.
yeah.
That's
I feel like,
exactly how you want the country ran, like that.
yeah, and then like a lot of these people that on Trump's team, like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, they were Democrats, and I liked them as Democrats. I was like, oh, I really like RFK. I like
Yeah,
Tulsi Gabbard. Musk. I mean, he's kind of wild on Twitter, but he's done some good things, and they were all Democrats, and now they're conservative. It's weird,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
stuff happens with this stuff, you know. But as far as a stand-up, like, look, I mean, everyone says you can't get canceled anymore. You still can, because if you post something that's really edgy or some kind of comedy clip or something that's really out there, you know, all's Hollywood, when they do research on you, they may want to you for a role, you know, maybe a guest on a sitcom, whatever. You're not going to get that because they see that. So you still can, but most comics don't care because you don't need the industry anymore.
right. Well,
Build up your
that's
own
what's
audience.
yeah, that's what's so great about. I mean, you're putting out the stuff. Your newest special is it only audio, right? It's on Spotify.
No, it's on Amazon Prime now.
Oh, okay, it is. Okay, because I just listened. I was trying to find it. For some reason I was thinking it was on YouTube. So it's on Prime for the video, and then so it's free on. If it's Prime, then it's free, right? If you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the way to do it. I feel like so many people are either putting it on YouTube or Amazon Prime, because the Netflix, they don't give that many of those away for some reason.
No, you know, Netflix is, you know, so huge, so they're very particular on who they're going to use. So I got, you know, I know my special is not going to be on Netflix, so I don't even think about it. So Amazon Prime's fine, or you put it on your own YouTube channel, which eventually I will, and you get it out there, and you just cut it up in clips and you post it, so everyone's going to see it anyway. So
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, the clips are. Or I heard you talking about the clips and how I think you said it was Andrew Schultz was one of the first ones that
yeah,
would post clips, and you're like, "What are you doing? You're going to give it away for free?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is how I'm going to get my name out there." And it's like it obviously worked. He's doing really well.
yeah, he was the first one to do it. We were looking at him like, "What are you doing, dude? That's stupid." He goes, "Nah, that's the way. I'm telling you, this is what's good." And I remember him. I was on Bobby Kelly's podcast with him, and he told us that. We were like shaking our head, like, "All right, dude, good luck." And he blew up. Right, do
Oh.
it. So he's the one who started that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is smart. Does it force you to create more material though? Because once people see those clips, then you can't really. I mean, I guess you could still do those, but you got to have a lot of material to go. You're going to burn through a lot, right?
No, I wait until that I'm done with that material and I move on. Like I filmed that special, like, you know, 6 months before it came out, and I just kept it lay low and just come up with new material. So when I went back out there and I started putting that stuff out there, I wasn't doing any of that material anymore.
Okay. Do
So
you worry that some of it might not be as topical though if it's
I
6
don't really
months?
do too much topical stuff. I don't, you know, I really don't. I always stayed away from that stuff.
Yeah, the NFL, the end racism and the choose love, and so I guess that's not really topical because it's been going on for years.
It's been, yeah, and they're still doing it, still in the end zone. They were, you know, during voting, they put a vote. So that's good, because a lot of people didn't know a big election was coming up. So you know, when someone kicks a field goal and they see the word vote at the end, oh, you know what? Wait. There's an election going on? I didn't even know. Who's running?
Yeah, do you
I
think
said,
that they'll just continue those signs forever
well, they're going to keep end racism forever. You know, that's what they do.
until it actually? What if we end it though? What if we actually?
I guess if we do end it, maybe they'll take it away at some point. They might have to take it away. They're stuck now because now, you know, if they take it away, people
Yeah,
go,
then
hey, you don't care about
racist.
racism. You want it
Yeah,
to keep going.
you're right. They're in a rock and a hard place because they kind
Yeah,
of. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I
Accept
mean,
cancer, you know, they got that on the sideline, you know, for breast cancer awareness month, intercept cancer. I mean, you know, they really
that's
go on a
just,
limb. They really go on a limb with their slogans. Like you know, like, wow, this might be controversial, but we want to get rid of breast cancer and racism. You think we can put a slogan out there?
but to me, it's like put your money where your mouth is. I mean, they made I think it was $20 billion in 2023. Like, how much of that are they donating to end racism or to breast cancer research or whatever? And then it's funny because I feel like if you go to an NFL stadium, they don't sell healthy. They sell you like beer and hot dogs, which I'm pretty sure that causes cancer. So I don't know.
The worst food on earth they serve.
They don't even give you like, there's not even a healthy choice. It's like
Oh,
you can either have processed shit or nothing.
exactly. They don't care, but they'll just keep posting that stuff, because they want to let everyone know. No, we do care. We really want racism to end.
Yeah. I saw one.
They're so full of shit. I mean, it's just, and meanwhile, they have the players. We care about the players' safety, but they play Sunday night and then they have to play Thursday 5 days later. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers got 3 games coming up in 10 days at the end of December because they've decided to put a Wednesday game on Christmas on 2 on Netflix. So
Oh,
they're playing a Saturday game, then a Sunday, a Saturday, and a Thursday.
holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then I think some other team, I think the Packers got 3 games in 12 days this week because they played last Thursday, they're playing tonight, this Thursday, and then they're playing next Sunday or whatever. So there's 3 and 12, but they care about the player safety. It's all about they're switching games. They care about the fans from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock where it's 30 degrees colder at 8 o'clock at night. They care.
Yeah. Well, and it's so stupid because like what was one of the things they did is like they changed the kickoff and made it all like it's all like pussy now. It's just like
the dynamic kickoff. There's nothing dynamic about it at all.
So, yeah. So was that because I guess there was too many injuries on the kickoff, but that was one of the most exciting parts of the game.
I know they'll probably go back to it next year the original way because everyone's just fair catching. It starts at the 30, so it's just stupid what they did. They tried to change it, so they'll probably just go back to it. But according to the NFL, the commissioner Roger Goodell goes, our fans love streaming. They're all in the streaming now. So now there's a couple of games. There's a playoff game that's only on what is that? Hulu, not Hulu. One of them, Peacock. So the second game of the year was on a Friday, the Eagles and somebody and whatever, and it was only on. So you have to subscribe. There's a playoff game. You have to subscribe to Peacock to watch the game.
Can you imagine being like an old grizzled guy who's been a fan for like 50 years and you watch on your TV every week and now all of a sudden they're like, you got to get this Peacock app. And they'd be, what the fuck is a Peacock? What is it like?
Yeah. But they say they care about the fans and fans are really into streaming. Yeah, we are. If we don't have to sign up for a different fucking streaming service because if you don't have Netflix, you got to sign up for Netflix to watch the 2 games on Christmas.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like 8 services you had to have to get every single game this year.
Yeah, you got to sign up for YouTube. You have to be YouTube, ESPN, Peacock, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then I think I saw, it was so funny. I think I took a picture of this. It was one of the Giants quarterback or something. And they were giving some charity and they had this giant check and it was for like $500, which is like nothing to an NFL player or an NFL organization that brought in 20 billion. They're like, look, we're giving $500 to this charity. I'm just like, why are they so nickel and diming people? Like, aren't they making enough money? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
They don't care. I mean, and look, even if Elon Musk gave all his money to breast cancer, it wouldn't get cured. So it doesn't matter.
No, because they got him. It's a big business.
It is. So it doesn't. If Elon if he's worth $50 billion and gave it all to breast cancer, it wouldn't be cured tomorrow with all that money he gave. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
So it's no matter how much you give to it, it's big business.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Did you hear about the United Healthcare CEO?
Yeah.
And he got shot. It's so crazy. Like I saw this like chart and said, like it was like insurance companies and how many claims they deny, and United was the worst. They denied like 32% of the claims.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that might be why the guy was mad and decided to. Not the brightest assassin there. Like he's going into Starbucks and stuff, and then taking his mask off, and he's all over pictures and videos. Kind of odd.
No, I know. Yeah, so who knows? Probably some Antifa douchebag or something. But he didn't have like pink hair, so I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah,
he didn't have a nose piercing.
No, it's just a weird story. Like I've never seen like an assassin or a hitman with a silencer walk into Starbucks. Like it's just so odd.
Yeah, well, I guess they were protesting at their headquarters in Minnesota like a few months ago back, like a big protest there because they were denying all these people's, claims and all that. and it was people from all different states there. So it was like, so who knows? I'm sure that's
Yeah.
something to do with that.
That's fucking. I feel like you just look at the news now and like it's just like a gold mine for you coming up with comedy because it's just everything is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what my podcast is about: is people sending in stuff that just goofy stuff that people are doing out there and all that, and then you got the Kelsey brothers are all over the place.
They're
Which,
annoying, aren't they?
oh my god, it's I've never seen anybody more overexposed than those two douchebags. And now the mother is always out. She's in a Hallmark movie. Jason Kelsey's wife is starting a podcast now. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's crazy that people care. Like, I've been doing this podcast like 5 years. I've been like grinding, trying to build it up. And then this fucking Hawk Tua bitch comes out, starts a podcast. She has like the #2 podcast immediately.
Yeah. Hold
Have
on.
you?
That's just the first week. People want to check to see what she's saying.
Well, now have you seen the latest with her? She did a meme coin, which I don't even know what the fuck that is, but people like they say they lost their life savings, like thousands of dollars.
Right.
It was all a scam. It's so crazy that.
Well, believe me, her podcast out of, a million podcasts, she's probably 700,000 now. So people checked it out in the beginning because they were interested. Nobody's listening every week.
But she's getting big guests. She's getting like she got some big names on it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, anybody can, well, look, that's what's good about America, too. It's tomorrow you could be a star. Whatever, your podcast could blow up. A comedian could start doing arenas. So you just never know. But the Kelsey brothers and that whole thing is just, it's embarrassing. They're just all over the place. They haven't said no to anything.
Yeah. I mean, but at least the Kelsey, like they have talent. They can play football. Like it's just crazy when like a girl, all these like hot girls did you see like the new, what's her name? Sophie Rain. She's the #1, what do you call that? OnlyFans girl. And supposedly she's a virgin and she's a Christian and she made $43 million just from whatever she's doing on OnlyFans. I'm assuming she's getting naked, but I guess she didn't have sex. So.
No, I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if guys are willing to pay for that for a subscription to OnlyFans, so
yeah, her #1 fan paid like $4.5 million.
Yeah, when you get porn for free, I don't get it, but
because you get the messages and stuff, and you can have these like one-on-one video things, or I don't know, it's crazy.
like for extra money for another extra $40 or something. Yeah, it's just lonely men that go, I might have a shot with this girl. It's like a stripper. It's like guys, that's their strip club. When you're in the strip club, the hot girls were nice to you. And you're like, I might have a shot.
Do you think strip clubs are going to disappear now with the OnlyFans? I feel like it'd be so much easier to make money on OnlyFans and you don't have to leave your home.
Yeah, but they'll still thrive, the strip clubs, because some of those girls, that shit's going to be out there forever. People could copy and, you strip that down and download it and put it out there. If this girl wants to be a teacher 10 years from now, it's like, oh man, I made a mistake. That shit's out there forever. A stripper, they're not going to know you were a stripper.
You don't think society is going to change? Because I feel like there's so many chicks doing OnlyFans now. Like, I mean, we're going to have to do something. We're going to ban all of them from ever doing a real job again. I mean, it's just, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, probably, most places won't care, but some will. A teacher is probably not going to be able to, she's not going to be able to teach. If they do a background search on it, she did OnlyFans, that's going to be embarrassing to the fucking, to the
like teachers. Some of the teachers now are just embarrassing. Like they're so far woke with that woke stuff, and then I feel like that's worse than if like somebody did an OnlyFans 20 years ago. I don't know.
True. Well, just imagine them, some OnlyFans girl that made all this money, and then she becomes in that school with all those woke women. They'd be furious.
Well, yeah.
Any girl that's making 500,000 a year on OnlyFans is not going to go teach for 40,000 a year.
Yeah, that's true.
So they'll never do that. They're not going to take
unless they blow all the money. Or there's the OnlyFans people that like they do OnlyFans thinking they're going to make 500,000 and they only make like a couple thousand because now they're out there and then they've potentially ruined their career or chances of being a teacher or whatever. But
true, yeah,
that is so crazy. And then just It's crazy. Like the newest thing too is like the teachers that have sex, the female teachers that have sex with their students. That's a weird phenomenon. That wasn't around when I was a kid.
No, I know it's it's these teachers that are like in their 20s, they're married. Some have a couple of kids and they're banging 14-year-old boys. And they think somehow they're going to keep a secret. It always gets out there.
Yeah, you can't hide anything now. It's just so weird that they would first of all be attracted to that, but then also like they're also risking their career. And a lot of times they're married, they're risking their marriage. And
Yeah, and they go to jail and they can never teach again.
yeah, that's crazy too. You go to jail for this. Like that is some crazy shit.
In like 10 years, for like fucking pedophilia, basically. So it's like 10 years minimum you're getting.
Is it really that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there was this one girl from Phoenix here that was, I mean, I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, she's so
Oh, that hot
beautiful.
blonde. I did that story on that. I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, do you ever go to the do they have gym? Do you go to the gyms in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Because my gym here, it is insane in Scottsdale. It's like if you ever when you come back to do House of Comedy next time, you should come to my gym just to see the women that go there. I mean, it's insane. It's so hard to concentrate on working out. These women, they wear like sports bras and then like they have the yoga pants that you can just see the butt crack and like everything. It's insane.
Yeah.
Do they have that in New Jersey too, or is that a Scottsdale thing?
There's not as much when I go, but I see some of them. But everyone, all the chicks, every comedian said that Scottsdale, Phoenix has the hottest chicks in America, no question. It's funny because my brother's kid is looking for colleges and he went to University of Arizona, and that's the one he picked out of all the colleges because of the hot girls. I guess my brother said when they do the orientation, they walk you through the pool area where all the hot girls are just fucking hanging out at the pool. You have to walk through there to go through the orientation. So any little boy at fucking 18 is like, holy shit. So that's the one he wants to go to. And I guarantee it's only because of that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I've gone to games at both ASU and U of A, and they're both insane. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would have gone to college here. It would have been
Yeah.
so fun. Just a big party. It's sunny every day. And then in the summer, you go home back to your hometown, wherever that is. You don't have to be there in the summer when it's like too hot or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. I want to ask you about we got to talk a little bit about music too, since I have you on here. What did you think about, because I just saw that AC/DC is going to tour again. I know you're a huge fan. Do you think they're still going to sound good?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that footage from over in Europe when they did over in the summer, and they sounded good. It wasn't amazing, but it was really good. So we'll take that from AC/DC. If you look at the tour they're taking 4 days off between every show. So it's given plenty of time for Brian Johnson to rest his voice because he's 77 years old.
Yeah. Did you see him when Axel was fronting him for a brief
I
time?
did twice. I saw it out of the 10 shows. Yeah. It
Was it good?
was amazing. Axel was on fire.
Wow. I wish I would have seen it. I saw him in 95 for the Ball Breaker tour, and it was really good. I haven't seen him since, but now I kind of want to go see him again if they.
Oh, they're amazing live. They're so good.
Yeah.
And they're still at this age.
Yeah, it was. I was so impressed with the stage setup. Like they had the wall and they had this big crane and it knocked the wall down. They jumped out. And I was like, oh, that was like the greatest entrance I've ever seen for a concert.
Yeah. Yeah. They always have some good, shit in the beginning of the show and stuff. But, I've been seeing them since I was a kid, and, it's definitely going to be the last time they're going to come around. So I'm definitely going to see them.
Yeah.
And the stuff they did over the summer, you saw it, the footage on YouTube, and it was good. It wasn't amazing. They weren't in their prime, but it's still very good.
Yeah, you talk about that in your special about going to concerts though, and like the prices and the big heads, and like I hate the parking and like navigating through. Do you get are you able to get like a connection through with the big concert so you can watch like side stage or something? Because I just hate being a cattle in the herd.
Yeah, well, when that metal show was on the air, I got a lot of connections, and once it got canceled, they kind of went away. So.
Oh, really? You don't still can't get it through Eddie or something?
It's almost like, your TV shows on the air. Who cares? So, but I still know some of the bands. I don't mind just watching from the crowd. Sometimes I like that because backstage is kind of stale. Nothing's really going on. I like to get a few beers, hang out, get their early tailgate and shit like that. So when you try to maneuver to go backstage when you can, and all the bands are sober, and there's no real craziness or anything like that going on. So I don't know. Some people love it. I'm good just hanging in the crowd watching the show. But sometimes I'll get a connection. I'll meet them after the show, maybe, just to say good show, whatever. I'm
Who
a
was your
comic. I know what I need to do to prepare before I go on stage. So I feel like I'm bothering them, whatever their routine is. And even after the show, when they're done, I'm like, oh, they want to get the fuck out of here. So I'll just say hi real quick and get out.
who is the band that is the most fun to hang with?
Well, Vinny, Paul, and Dimebag when they were alive, the Pantera, the Vinny, Paul brothers, they were great.
You got to party with them?
Oh yeah, I was on tour with Hell Yeah for a little while when Vinny was doing it, and even with Damage Plan, I hung with them for like 5 days on tour when they were doing that project, the Damage. So no, I knew Vinny really well, and Dime I only knew for a couple of years before he passed away, but they were great to hang out with. That was fun.
Yeah, and did you meet Eddie Van Halen at Dime's funeral?
Yeah, I didn't really meet him. He was there. I didn't get close to him, but he was there. That was the only time I was ever in a room with him.
Wow. And you've never met or seen Alex Van Halen?
Nope, never.
That is so how does that guy stay so elusive?
I love it though. That's it. Van Halen was the thing. Like they hibernate and they just pop up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, so you don't need to be on. Alex Van Halen doesn't need to be on social media every day posting. I'm going pictures. Here's my vacation. Hey, I'm going here. I'm hiking. Nobody cares.
Right. That's what made it so interesting in the 80s and 90s is like following these guys in the like Metal Edge and stuff, because that was all you got was a Circus magazine or Rip magazine or whatever. There was no social media, so like any sort of tidbit was like, whoa, they do this, this is what they're doing. Like that stuff was so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And then so you've you've interviewed Lars from Metallica though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? I want to ask you about this, about how, because with the Napster thing, I remember when that whole thing came out, everybody was like booing him and shit. Like, but it turns out that he was right. Although I think the booing might have been accurate, because I feel like he wasn't trying to protect future musicians, or maybe he was, but it seemed like he was more trying to protect his own record sales. But in hindsight, like he was dead on about all that shit. Like we should have done something different because musicians now can't make money.
No, he was protecting everybody. I mean, he had a list of all the Metallica fans that downloaded his stuff just to show the evidence in court. But he said that I'm doing it for everybody. Look, I know we make money and stuff like that, but I'm doing this for the bands that are really struggling too. So I'll take the bullet for it. When he found out when that "I Disappear" song they made for that Mission Impossible soundtrack, when he found that it wasn't even finished yet, the song, and someone leaked it from the studio and put it out there, and it was on the internet. And when he found that out, he's like, what? How did that get out there? I don't know, but everyone has it now. And he's like, that's what started him. Like, you got to be kidding me. They stole my stuff. That song's not even finished, and it's out there, and we're going to put it on the soundtrack. And shit, like, that's what really set him off. And then he realized what was going on with Napster. No, he's right. Absolutely. I mean, people just, I always buy records. Like, if I'm a fan of the band, no matter what, I'll buy it on iTunes. I already subscribe to iTunes for like $10.99 a month or whatever, so I get all the music I want. But I always buy the record. It's $10.99 or $9.99 when it comes out, just to support, even though I don't have to.
Yeah, I try to support by buying either the merch or going to the show. Like I went and saw you when you came to House of Comedy, and you were great. I think I bought a T-shirt too. I bought a That Metal Show T-shirt. That was cool.
Nice. Yeah. That's what I do. If I get free tickets to a concert, I'll make sure I buy merchandise inside.
Yeah, I never ask for that shit. I mean, I will take it if someone's like, hey, I'm putting you on the guest list or whatever. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I never ask for that, because I'm always like, that just feels like I want to support the people. Yeah, because if they can't make money off the album sales, it's like you got to support them. They got to make a living somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy.
I don't for a guest list that much either. I just
What's
buy it. If I know the band, I'll just say, hey, I'm coming to the show. Maybe I'll see you after the show. Oh, you got tickets? I go, yeah, I already got tickets. Don't worry about it.
That's nice. Yeah, that's very cool. The only thing is like, yeah, if there's like my brother, his wife is married to the lead singer of Train. So like he'll say, oh, do you want to go see? And I'm not like a big Train fan, but I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a cool show. And it's cool to have like a really good seat at a big concert like that. Like I don't get that a lot. So it kind of ruins you though. Like to see a band that close And then you're like, so I try to either just pay for a really good seat or try to find a connection. And I just go to less concerts now, but I also really like the club shows. Do you like those better than the big,
Yeah,
like stadium?
I do like that. Yeah. Wait, your brother is married to who?
So my brother's, it's my brother's wife's sister is married to the singer of Train.
Oh, okay.
And so I've seen them a bunch of times. And then, I have some other people that have done the podcast.
Yeah.
Like Pete, he's Brett Michaels' guitarist. I don't know if you know Pete Evick.
Yeah.
And so he'll be like, and he'll just invite, he texted me the other day and he's like, hey, are you coming to the show? And I was like, do you want me to come? Like, I'm not going to like ask, hey, can you give me a freebie? But, and so, I got to go side stage. I'd never done that before. I'd never been side stage at a concert. And I was like, oh, this is like really weird. It was kind of surreal to like meet Brett Michaels, like in real life. I was like, cause you just see him on TV. It's almost like it's like a cartoon or something. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Right.
Do you feel that way when you've met so many of these guys, I'm sure, with that metal show and all the other things?
After a while, I get used to it. You're in the room like, holy shit, there they are. No, it doesn't really affect me anymore. It did in the beginning, but I've been around a lot of people. So, it doesn't really, I don't really get intimidated or whatever. I always make it quick. I feel like I'm wasting somebody's time. Hey, James, James, can I get a quick picture? James, I love the new record. Oh, thanks, man. The show was great tonight. Awesome. It was amazing. Can I get a quick picture? Sure. Picture. Thanks. Good meeting you. And that's it.
Yeah. I would assume some of these guys know you though, right? Like you think like maybe James has watched that.
They do.
Show.
They, because I opened for Metallica at one of their festivals down in Atlantic City when they did, remember those, they did those, I forget what the festival was called, but then Lars introduced me on stage with James watching my set. So, we got handpicked by the band, but I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to be like, hey, I saw you in '92 when, Suicidal Tendencies opened up and you threw that Frisbee into the crowd. Like he's like, he has no fucking clue. So I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. My first concert ever was Motorhead, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. It was amazing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right. Isn't that like the best first concert ever?
Yeah.
That's so, it was amazing. But, what else was I going to ask you about? I think that was about, so the new special is out now. It's called You Can't Please Them All. I didn't realize it was on Amazon Prime, so people can watch it on there, or they can listen on Spotify. Or can they buy the record? Is there?
On my website, I got a DVD version, an audio version of it, so they could buy it.
Yeah.
They could buy the physical product. Yeah, but but the audio's out on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to audio, and then the video version of it's on Amazon Prime.
Yep. And then your podcast, Everybody Is Awful. So great. I love all the shit you make fun of. It's all the same, a lot of the same shit that bothers me. So that's a great one.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I do that every Monday. It comes out every Monday. Everybody Is Awful.
Yeah. And then, are you guys you're still doing That Rocks show with Dawn and Eddie?
We haven't done it in a while. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with it. So it's on hold for right now.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys kind of sometimes hang out with Craig Gass? Is he kind of like the fourth member? Because he's another comedian that loves metal. Like there's like the three of you, like you and Dawn.
Jim Brewer.
Oh yeah, of course. Well,
and Jim Norton. Jim Norton likes metal too. He's a big.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Big J Okerson is.
Is Big J a metalhead too?
Huge. Yeah, I go to a lot of shows with him. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess Brian Posehn. I think he's a huge Anthrax.
Yeah, he is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not too many of us, but
no, I think that's cool. Like, yeah, I like it though. It's nice, and you don't do a lot. So people who aren't a music fan, they can still come see you because you don't do a lot of music jokes, if any. I don't think.
No, because and when I'm in the city and perform in front of a young crowd, which I do a lot,
right?
I can't mention Judas Priest. They don't know what I'm talking about. Even if I say AC/DC, they're like, I think my dad likes that band. Like you have to relate to the audience. So I keep if I'm doing a music venue and I just opened for did a wrestling podcast, Busted Open, Bully Ray, that was in the WWE. And I opened for them and I told the whole story about getting molested for wrestling pictures. Like, cause I was a wrestling crowd. They were there for the podcast. And if I do a rock show, I'll do more, I'll make, more rock jokes, rock show jokes, but I'm just doing regular stand-up. I keep that out.
Right. Do you think that, have you ever done like the cruises? Have you ever done like the Monsters of Rock thing?
I do. Yeah. I host Me, Don, and Eddie host, and we do one comedy show, and we introduce the bands and stuff like that. So that's always good. And those
I gotta get on one of those cruises.
I just do regular stand-up on those shows.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually open for a band, and they're fine with it.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, all that stuff is available, and then I think you have some tour dates too, right?
Yeah, JimFlorentine.com.
I'll put it in the show notes, and yeah, hopefully you'll come to Phoenix again. I'll come see you. It was great last time.
Yeah, probably by the summer I'll be back. I love coming to Phoenix. I've been coming there for years.
Yeah.
Great
No,
comedy.
Yeah, I think you're right about the women too. It's insane.
Oh, it's insane.
It's almost comical at this point. I'm trying to do like bicep curls, and this girl's like bending over. I could see her butt crack and her camel toes like right in my face. It's a comedy skit right there. So
Amazing, yeah.
awesome. All right, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it, man. I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye bye.
Bye.
Shute podcast blowing your mind. Every topic one of a kind. From the rockers to the wise men.